in. Alright, so let's start in Xcode. And if you go down to the insults folder, this is where we put in our new facts or whatever it is that you're going to be showing in the app. And there are 4 different sections which correspond to 4 different places where they can see different categories of facts or whatever it is. So the first one that shows up is this jokes.txt file, and it's free. And then the other 3 are paid. So whatever categories you decided to do, it would be a good idea just to write down and keep it on the side that jokes corresponds to, for me it's going to be science facts, and then tough guy corresponds to life facts, knock knock is celebrity facts, and one-liners are animal facts. So just keep that somewhere written down so you can refer back to it later. Now if you've gotten this far, you've probably already filled in this information, so the next part is going to be to enable the in-app purchases and to test them. So let's jump into iTunes Connect. Okay, so we're in iTunes Connect now, and we're going to go to the Manage Your Apps section, and then click on your app. Now if you go to Manage In-App Purchases in the top right, we're going to create a new one. Now this account is new, and there's some information missing here, and it says I must go to the Contracts, Tax, and Banking module to be able to enable in-app purchases. So I'm going to do that now, and we're going to come back. Alright, since my Contracts, Tax, and Banking information wasn't completed yet, I couldn't add new in-app purchases, but I just filled that out. So now if I go into Manage Your Apps, click on the app and go to Manage In-App Purchases and Create New, there's these sections here for consumable and non-consumable purchases. So we're going to start filling these out for this app. All the in-app purchases we're doing for this app are non-consumable, and non-consumables are things that you would buy only once and then can be restored later if you delete the app and get the app again, or if you get a new device or something along those lines. Consumable in-app purchases, on the other hand, are things like tokens or coins or whatever that you would purchase over and over again and keep collecting, getting more of. So for sets of facts in this app, it would make sense that you'd only buy it once. You wouldn't buy the same facts over and over again. So we're going to go to non-consumable and select that. The first purchase we're going to do is the Remove the Top Banner ad. And all that does is remove that flurry banner that you see at the top of the app screen. Now the reference name is what you're going to see in iTunes Connect when you get sales. So you want it to be meaningful for you, but it doesn't have to be user-friendly for other people. So I'm going to put in factbook-remove ad. Now just a note, this does not remove all the ads. The way this was coded was that it only removes that one flurry banner ad. So you don't want to make people upset and say that you're removing all the ads when we fill this out. Now the product ID is kind of similar to the bundle ID. It's usually com.yourname or company name .app name, and then we're going to add a dot and then put in the in-app purchase name. This can really be anything, but also try to make this meaningful for you. In this case, since we're reskinning an app, I'm going to use the same naming convention that they use in the program. So it'll be easier to edit in Xcode. That's going to be com.yourname.appname.remove_banner_ad. Next, make sure Cleared for Sale is clicked on Yes, and then select the price that you want to charge people for this. I'm going to select Tier 1, which is 99 cents in US dollars. Next, we need to add a language. So click on Add Language, select your language. Next is the display name, and that actually shows up for the user when they purchase it. So I'll say something along the lines of, do you want to purchase one remove banner ad? Now I want to be really specific here because it only removes the top banner ad, so I'm going to put that in. It's pretty rare that the description actually gets used in the app, but sometimes it does. I usually just copy the same thing as the display name unless I have more things to say. In this case I don't. I'm just going to put remove top banner ad. Then click Save. You're not going to be hosting anything with Apple, so keep this as no. We can leave the review notes blank. And now we need to add a screenshot. Actually, we don't need to add it right now. Let's get the in-app purchases working first, and then we're going to screenshot it, and then add the screenshots later. So let's go ahead and save. So here you can see it is waiting for screenshot before we can do anything. But you'll still be able to test it. Now we're going to add the 3 in-app purchases for the categories. So for my fact categories, it's going to be animals, celebrity, and life facts. So go to Create New again. We're still doing non-consumable, and enter the reference name that's going to make sense for you when you see the reports. Next, for the product ID, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do com.yourname.appname.name of the in-app purchase, This time we're not going to use his naming convention because his is probably something along the lines of one-liners or knock-knock, and I want to make this more meaningful for us, so put the category name after at the very end so that it makes sense for you. So for mine, it's going to be com.leerankinen.factbook.animals. Again, keep cleared for sale yes, and then enter the price tier for however much you want to charge for it. And add the language again. They're going to see the display name, so I'm going to put animal facts here. So I'll say something like, do you want to purchase 1 animal facts? And I'm going to enter the same thing for description. We're going to wait to do the screenshot again, so click save. And now repeat this for the 2 other categories that you're going to charge for. The first category is free, so that's not going to be an in-app purchase, so just leave that one. And that's the one that corresponds to the jokes.txt file. That'll be your free category. So I'm going to enter my other 2 categories right now. Okay, I finished putting mine in. Just make sure you get the spelling correct for this product ID, which resembles your bundle ID. Capitals matter, and when we put this in Xcode, if you spell it even a little bit off, it's not going to work. So just make sure everything looks good, and we're going to go to Xcode. Okay, so now that we've set them up in iTunes Connect, now we need to set up the in-app purchases in Xcode. So my shortcut for doing this is to go to search in the top left corner, the magnifying glass, and we're going to search for com.brightnewt. And these are going to be his in-app purchases that he set up, and we're just going to change them. We're just going to edit them so that they fit our naming conventions. So search for that. And let's go through these one by one. First one's in datamodel.m. And if I click on that, I can see the remove banner ad is here. So let's replace com.brightnewt.fastlaughjokes with the one that we set up. So mine was com.leerankinen.factbook.remove_banner_ad. And if you remember, I told you just leave it named that way so that we wouldn't have to change it. But if you changed it, you're going to change this remove _banner_ad part. Let's go to the next one. Now this one says com.brightnewt.insultshake, and I think that has to do with the shaking of the device. So I'm not going to change that. That's not an in-app purchase. So let's move on to the next one. Now we're in the purchases.plist file. This is definitely where we want to be to change the categories. So the ones I see here are one-liners, and for me that applies to animal facts. So we see description, it says plus 122 jokes. Now I could be wrong, but I don't remember seeing this in the app. If you did, you can change it, but I don't want to change it and then mess something up, so I'm just going to leave that. Image is one-liners, that's the name of the image. We don't want to change that because we replaced our images and we kept the image naming convention the same. So don't change that for sure. Now the name, we want to change that because that's going to appear on the button. So I'm going to rename this animals. Now don't change the path either, but we're going to change the in-app purchase ID. So fill yours out so that it matches iTunes Connect. Mine is com.leerankinen.factbook.animals. That's what I put in iTunes Connect for this in-app purchase. Underneath is this is bought item, and if you set this to yes, then it's going to make it so that it's already purchased so that they don't have to purchase it. So if you wanted to make some of yours free, some more of them except the first one, you can change this. Now I've never changed it before, so I'm not going to do it, and I like that you have to buy 3 of them. So don't hold me to it if it doesn't work perfectly. But I've purchased other codes from Austin Church and it has a similar thing going on, and it worked. So I'm pretty sure this will work if you want to change it, but I'm going to leave it. Okay, that first section is done, so let's click on the next one in our search box. And this is the tough guy one. This is the last of the buttons, and for me, it applies to life facts. So I'm going to change it so it matches the life facts that I set up in iTunes Connect. Okay, so again, just change the name and then change the in-app purchase ID section. Now let's go to the next one. This is knock knock, and for me that's going to be celebrity facts, so I'm going to change that. Moving on. Now we have that remove banner ad one, so I'll replace just the in-app purchase ID here. Alright, let's keep going. Now I see a segmented sortbar.m file. I'm going to click on that. Now I see this is like a debug section, and it says com.brightnew.fastlaughjokes.yomamapack. What is that? The only things for sale in this app were the ones that we've done, which are like the tough guy knock knock one-liners jokes. So this pack here, I haven't seen it exist in the app, so I'm going to leave that. Now the next one is this Chuck Norris one, which applies to tough guy, which for me is life facts. So let's change that. Moving on. This next one is one-liners. For me, that's animals. I'm going to change it. Next. We have knock knock, and that's celebrity for me. I'm going to change it. Okay. And we're going to do this again. So I see Chuck Norris. That's going to be tough guy, which is life facts for me. Next is one-liners. Change that one. And I see knock knock. I'm going to change it. Here we go again. I see some more. And the next one, gotta change that. Should be getting close to being done, so let's keep going. Okay, so that one's fixed. And looks like I have one in here, start screen view controller.m file. Let's see what that is. Okay, it's the remove banner ad one again, so fix that up. Okay, so what we had done is we searched for all the places where it said com.brightnut. So that should cover all the in-app purchases. Now let's do one more search. And we're going to search for one one-liners. Now there's a file called segmented sortbar.m, and click on the first one. This is where the names come from on the first page on the buttons. So we're going to change these out to match what you want. Right above there's jokes up here. That's your first category, so change it to what you want to display on that button. Next is one-liners, so change that. Then change knock knock. And last, change tough guy. Let's click the next one on our search. And we're going to do this one more time. Okay, I think we're ready for a test. Okay, so you should be ready to test this, but before you do that, let's clean it like we like to do. And we're going to test this on your device, so make sure your device is selected up here. And before you run it, go to your device and go into your App Store. Scroll down to the bottom on the featured page, and you're going to need to sign out of your Apple ID. So just click on your Apple ID where you see it down there, and that's where you see your balance and stuff like that. So click on it, sign out, and then run the app. Once your app is running, you can try testing the in-app purchases, and there's a couple places. It's on the main screen. You can click on the category to purchase it, or there's a little store button and you can purchase the categories there also. So now when you click on it, it's going to ask you to sign in and use your test account that we created in iTunes way back in probably tutorial number 2. So if you sign in with that, you can purchase the in-app purchase just like you would for Reels. So purchase all of them. You should purchase 3 categories, and don't forget about the banner at the top. Make sure it all works. And if it does, we're almost done. We just need to put those screenshots in and then do one little step, and we're going to be ready to move on next tutorial. So let's do the screenshots right now. Alright, I took my screenshot and it looks like this. What I like about this one is that it shows all 4 in-app purchases in one section, and we can use this same in-app purchase screenshot for all of our in-app purchases in iTunes Connect when we upload the screenshot. Now it's really easy to take a screenshot. If you don't know how on your device, all you do is hit the power button and the home button at the same time, and then it'll be added to your photo reel and you can save it from there to your computer. So once that's done, let's go to iTunes Connect, go into Manage Your Apps, click on the app, and then go into Manage In-App Purchases. Now we're going to jump into each one that says we're waiting for a screenshot. Go down to where it says In-App Purchase Details and click on Edit. And then go down to the bottom and choose a file for the screenshot for review. So I'm going to select that file that I took, choose it, and then click Save. You click Done, and now you'll see it's ready to submit. So that screenshot I took shows all of these, the animals, celebrity, life, and remove ad purchases all on one screen, so we can use that same screenshot. So I'm going to upload it for all of these. Okay, they all say ready to submit now, so that's awesome. Let's click Done. Now there's one last thing that I want you to do. When you go into your version, click View Details, and then scroll down a bit. Now you should see this in-app purchases section. This is very important because when we submit this for review, we need to make sure that they're also going to review the in-app purchases. So they need to be selected here. Click on Edit, select them all, and click Save. Now you see that they're all 4 here. That's good. So when we are ready to upload our binary, these will also be submitted for review. Okay, so your in-app purchases should work and we're ready to submit them, but we're not going to do that yet. We just have one last thing to do in the next tutorial, and that's make some money with ads. I'll see you there.